Gus Bradley in his first season guiding Jacksonville after 4 years under Pete Carroll in Seattle, rebuilding and trying to keep things positive. On the other sideline, Jeff Fisher, his second season here in St. Louis. He's been one of the best in the league for a long time. Third most wins among active coaches in the NFL. Got plenty of looks at Jacksonville when he was with Tennessee, and they were both in the AFC South. St. Louis won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so Jacksonville will have the football to start the game. Greg Zuerlein, strong leg. Will kick it off for the Rams, and back deep for Jacksonville, Jordan Todman. 5 yards deep in the end zone. Rare meeting between these two teams. Only the fourth time in their histories they've played each other. The Rams won both games here in St. Louis. The Jaguars won their only meeting in Jacksonville in Week 6 of 2009 in overtime, and we are underway. Todman takes a knee. They'll bring it out to the 20. Blaine Gabbert starts for the second straight week after missing time with a laceration on his throwing hand, coming home to St. Louis, where he was a prep star at Parkway West High School. He grew up a Rams fan, loved watching Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf. Would like to find some of that magic today as he returns home for the first time as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
And as always, those big ticket requests from all your buddies back home. He had to get a handful of tickets. Happy to do it, though, as he comes back home to his hometown.
Start from the shotgun. And throw on first down. With time, slings it, incomplete. Intended for Ace Sanders. Big changes for Jacksonville up front. Monroe gone. Jokel, the second overall pick, moves to left tackle. His debut there against one of the best edge rushers in the league, and Robert Quinn. Backs and receivers. Justin Blackmon returns after the 4-game suspension. Up-tempo offense for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew stacked up for no gain. The Rams have struggled over the last couple of weeks, but they have some playmakers on the young defense, including that man, Quinn, with 5 sacks through 4 weeks. That's tied for the league lead. At linebacker, Jolon Dunbar returns after a 4-game suspension. Big contributor a year ago. And in the secondary, Cortland Finnegan out today. Tremaine Johnson battled strep throat all week, but the doctors cleared him to play, so he starts today at left corner opposite Jenkins. 3rd and 10 for Jacksonville. Opening possession. Gabbert with time. Tried to pull it down, lost the football. See if they rule that a fumble or an incomplete pass.
Now they're ruling it a fumble. The side judge coming in from nice, pointing in the direction of the Rams, and now Tony Corrente says no, it was an incomplete pass.
Take another look.
Now watch as he tries to pull this string back. Yeah, there it is, and that's an incomplete pass, obviously.
So no fumble, but 3 and out for Jacksonville.
And Blaine Gabbert had nowhere to throw the football on any of those passes. He stepped up and was looking around. All his receivers were covered up.
Brian Anger boots it away. That's a good high, deep punt. Tavon Austin fields it at the 31. Has some room trying to get to the outside. And out of bounds. But there's a marker down back at the 40-yard line. Pink flags today in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That was a 49-yard punt, and if it stands, a 23-yard return.
And you look at there, the officials, they are decked out in the pink whistles today.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 50. This 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
Ray Armstrong. Penalties have been a problem for the St. Louis Rams, so Sam Bradford brings the Rams out on offense. The first overall pick out of Oklahoma in 2010. He's thrown more than any other quarterback in the league through the first 4 games. He told us he expects the Rams to try and get back to being more balanced today against the Jacksonville team that has given up 165 yards a game on the ground, easily the worst in the league. They spotted at the 23. First possession for the Rams. They keep it on the ground. Stacy up the middle. Zach Stacy. And he's out across the 30-yard line. Puslesny made the stop. Up front for the Rams, they brought in the 4-time Pro Bowler Jake Long to anchor the offensive line. Backs and receivers, Zach Stacy, we just saw him out of Vanderbilt getting the start today as Jeff Fisher tries to shake up the running game. We'll also see Isaiah Pete, and they'll even put Tavon Austin back there and give him a few carries. After the pickup of 7, 2nd and 3 for the Rams. Quick pass. Tavon Austin tried to run with it before he brought it in. Incomplete. Here's the Jacksonville defense as they try to find some answers today. The former Eagle, Jason Babin, comes in with 57 career sacks, and he can still bring it off the edge. Plus Lusney in the middle. He's been Jacksonville's leading tackler since he came in from Buffalo 3 years ago. And in the secondary, they've got the hard-hitting rookie safety, who a lot of people are excited about, Jonathan Cyprian, who they think can be a playmaker back there for a long time. 3rd and 3. First possession for the St. Louis Rams. Bradford. Lots of time, finally takes off. And he looks to be about a yard short of a first down.
And what looked so promising to begin with, the Rams just fizzled out. I mean, Tavon Austin with the great punt return to start the drive, that was brought back, and then Austin dropped the pass on 2nd down, and then the Jacksonville defense doing a nice job in the secondary. You see there, the crossing route was covered. Right there, the defenders between Gibbons and Bradford. Bradford had nowhere to throw it and couldn't be mobile enough, couldn't get the first down with his legs. Brings up the punt.
3 and out for the Rams. Pepper. Sanders retreats back to the 12. And he's got some running room. And nothing between Sanders and the goal line, but there is a flag down near midfield.
That was well blocked up front, and it's interesting, we spoke to Jeff Fisher. He said if Tavon Austin wouldn't have been available in the draft,
during the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 56. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Leroy Reynolds called on the infraction, so they'll bring it back. No score, just underway here in St. Louis. 88-yard punt return for a touchdown. Nullified, and let's see if we can pick up the infraction, Steve.
Well, 56, as you see there, right, that is a peel back block, but that was not a block in the back.
So they'll start at their own 7-yard line. The delay to Mojo, and he's out fighting his way to the 11-yard line. 3-time Pro Bowler who came in needing 10 total yards from scrimmage to reach 10,000 for his career. Trulon Dunbar made the stop.
Jacksonville trying to go a little bit of no huddle here to pick up the tempo and give Blaine Gabbert a good early look at the defensive alignment to see if he can get a tip on where he can go with the football.
2nd and 6. Changing the play. Here's Jones-Drew. Fights for a yard or so. Michael Brockers made the stop in his 2nd season at defensive tackle. Named to some all-rookie teams coming out of LSU last year.
And Blaine Gabbert saw something in the defensive front that made him check to that run off the right side, and there was just nothing there. The Rams adjusted and defended it extremely well. Brings up a 3rd and 5. Sooner or later, though, the Rams are going to force Gabbert not to check to a run, but to check to a pass.
5 wide, empty backfield. Rams look like they're going to bring it. They rush 4. Gabbert gets rid of it. That's caught by Cecil Shorts for a big gain. Out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line and a first down. A pickup of 21 yards.
Well, that was man coverage from the pre-snap read, and they did not disguise it at all. You see everybody is man-to-man all over the football field. Shorts comes in, catches it just on the right hash. Great read by Gabbert.
Quick snap. And all alone, there's Blackmon. And he's going to score. Welcome back, Justin Blackmon.
That's a big drink of water for a team who has really struggled to score early in football games. Justin Blackmon exploding back onto the roster with a 1st drive or 2nd drive of the game. comes out with the big, that's a absolutely blown coverage by the Rams, leaves Blackmon 10 yards deep, wide open, and then it's a foot race. And you're not a first-round draft pick if you can't run. And Blackmon, it's going to be tough to catch him with a head start like that. That is a completely blown coverage by St. Louis.
67 yards on the catch and run for the touchdown. And Jacksonville is on the board. Joe Scobie for the extra point. Get down the middle, and with 10:31 left in the first. Big play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's been a problem all season long for the St. Louis Rams.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
And we're back. 4 plays, 93 yards. The 67-yard touchdown pass to Justin Blackmon. Jacksonville's first half touchdown since the end of last season. Blaine Gabbert back home here in St. Louis, and that gives him a reason to smile. 7-0 Jacksonville. Benny Cunningham is back deep for St. Louis. Free agent rookie out of Middle Tennessee, ready to receive the kickoff. And they'll bring it out to the 20. Steve, let's take another look at the touchdown.
Well, this is the kind of play that will force the Rams to do something different defensively. He's going to come up, he gets man coverage. He blows the coverage. They're going to man up in here as his back comes out. And what happens, he's going to run right by the guy he's supposed to cover right there. Big opening right there. Gabbert sees it. And if you can make plays like that as an offense, that's going to force the Rams out of that man-to-man coverage. They'll have to start zoning things off, which means they won't be as stiff against the run game.
On first down, play action. Bradford out to Kendricks, the tight end. Nice gain on first down. Well, fantasy football fans, check out CBSSports.com. Player Challenge, a new 4-week game with the cash prize in every league. See rules and sign up at CBSSports.com/challenge. Spotted at the 26-yard line. The Rams came in today having given up 31 points or more in 3 consecutive games. That happened just once the entire 2012 season. They run it up the middle with Zach Stacy. Gino Hayes made the stop, and now let's check in with the fellas in New York, JB and Shannon, with an update.
Shannon, an opportunistic special teams.
Yeah, what a terrible way to turn the ball over for the very first time. The guy's blocking Damian Williams. It hits the back of his foot, caroms into the end zone, fell on by a Chiefs player early. Chiefs on top of the Titans, 7-0, Jake.
Could be a momentum builder. Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
Chiefs trying to go 5-0 for the first time in 10 years after finishing 2-14 the season ago. Again, they'll run it. Stacy bursts through. And that's a first down. Out to the 35-yard line. Josh Evans made the tackle, a pickup of 6.
Well, we spoke about in the open about how unproductive the run game has been for the Rams. This is nothing really complicated. 2-back set. They come up, he bounces it back to the backside, and that's what so many running backs do. You get those 2 backs in there, you know it's a run-heavy formation, but if you can run it when they expect it, you're ahead of the game, and the Rams did it on that play.
Stacy, right tackle. Moved the pile out close to the 40-yard line. Posluszny made the stop. Going back to last season, the Rams have been a slow-starting team. They've gone 9 straight. They had gone 9 straight games without scoring in the first quarter until they got a field goal last week to break the streak. And 3 points in 10 games in the first quarter is not good.
Yes, excuse me, Bill. That's this running game for the Rams. It's not that zone read. It's not the zone block. You see, this is power football that the Rams are running right at Jacksonville with a lead blocker.
Gibbons was the motion man. Play action from Bradford. Sets out into the flat. Hendricks again, dropped almost immediately by Russell Allen.
You see
Fisher,
there.
yep, over the years. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he hasn't started slow before, but also, I mean, it's hard to bounce back from that. One time he's gotten back to 11-5 and then an 8-8 season, but when you start out slow, it usually tells you something about how your team's going to end up at the end of the season. Not always, but usually.
No team last year made the postseason after starting 1-3. 3rd and 7. Bradford pick up the blitz, guns it, tipped away. Nice break on the ball by Will Blackmon. Pass intended for Chris Givens.
Yeah, that was a great pass defense, really on both sides. The Rams do a great job of picking up. Watch as Zach Stacy comes over, picks up the blitz from Puzlesny, gives Sam Bradford enough time to deliver this, but on the outside, Givens just can't shake Blackmon. Blackmon does a fantastic job of defending that pass. Good on the front end of that pass, not so good at the back end. Givens has got to win man-to-man.
Walker came in averaging almost 47 yards a punt. This is a short one. And that will draw a flag.
Yeah, I can relate. I mean, what happens, he got so caught up with the double team that was on the gunner of the punt team. That was Brandon McGee, who was hand fighting all the way down. And if you look down at the guys who are defending you and miss the fair catch signal, you don't know that a fair catch has been called. You come in, you lay a stick on the returner, and it costs you a penalty. That's just unawareness on the part of the guys that covering the kick. McGee's got to know that.
Kicking team number 32, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And the thing is, when the guy calls for a fair catch, you need your teammates to let you know. Somebody's got to yell fair catch on your team so that you don't do that.
It's about much more than pink on the field. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society are helping women across the country make a crucial catch. Hear the personal impact stories and find out how you can help finish the fight against breast cancer at NFL.com/pink. It's something that resonates in a special way here in St. Louis. Former Rams owner Georgia Frontiere died of breast cancer in 2008. This is the 5th year of the campaign. To date, they have raised more than $4.5 million for the American Cancer Society, and nearly every item visible on the field will be auctioned off. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew bounces off of the tackler and somehow is able to make a couple yards out of that. Laurinaitis made the stop. He's the leader of this Rams defense. Guy loves football, never comes off the field. He's played every snap defensively for the Rams over the last 3 years.
Well, it's nice to have guys you can depend on that will line up in this day and age where we're so much about injury reports and who can play and who can't, particularly fantasy owners. Teams love guys who are there every week, and Laurinaitis is one of them.
2nd and 7. Jones-Drew left side. Followed up at the point of attack.
This defense of the Rams up front is really doing a nice job against the run game, despite what happened on that first down when Maurice Jones-Drew bounced it out and circled back and gained some yards. This Rams front has really bottled him up to this point. They've got to feel good about it, but in doing so, they've had to go man-to-man on the outside. So they're doing a great job against the run game, but as soon as Jacksonville wants to throw it and the Rams stay in man-to-man on that long pass play to Blackmon, Jacksonville's been able to beat it.
Mojo goes out. Justin Forsett checks in. That's Blackmon, the motion man. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Gabbert flushed from the pocket. Very mobile, on the move, slings it, and incomplete. Cecil Shorts tried to make an acrobatic grab, but incomplete.
Now that looked like it had a chance as Shorts came back from a deep, deep route, broke his route off. Gabbert tried to get it to him and just threw it too far out of bounds. Shorts came back, got 2 hands on it. You see here, he comes wide open there as he separates from Tremaine Johnson. The ball is just off target. If that ball's on target, that's a big gain and a drive saver.
Angles punt. We let it bounce, and it's down to inside the 15-yard line. 5:30 left to go in the first. A 42-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And by the new 2014 Dodge Durango.
Good possession for the Rams. They'll start at their own 14. Stacy, the lone setback. Bradford loses the football, has to fall on it. Great penetration from Sinderick Marks, who played for Jeff Fisher at Tennessee. His 5th year out of Auburn.
Yeah, we spoke to Marks yesterday. What an engaging guy. And from the inside, if you can get penetration from your defensive tackles and get from the inside, that is a great sack right there by Marks. Great pressure on a 4-man rush when everybody was covered up in the back end. They defended that play extremely well, and Marks was the beneficiary of it.
Said he was trying to figure out where he wanted to go. All it took was one conversation with Gus Bradley, and he was in a Jaguars uniform. 2nd and 19 from the goal line. It's caught. It dropped right away. Swarming Jacksonville defense. Jared Cook with the catch.
And you can just tell Jacksonville has really elevated their play. And that guy right there, Gus Bradley, what an engaging guy. And for those of you, most people don't know, when he walks in the room, he eats football up. He eats life up. He's an incredibly energetic guy, positive guy. And he's the kind of guy you really root for as a head coach. But it's going to come down to how many games he can win.
And one of his players is down. That's Will Blackmon, the cornerback. So timeout on the field here in St. Louis. Will Blackmon talking to his teammates on the sideline. He was smiling, so I suspect we'll see him back in there shortly. 3rd and 14. Bradford from the goal line. And that is tipped and incomplete. Stacy was the intended receiver, and the Rams will have to punt. It was again Sinderick Marks who got a hand on it.
That's a great defensive series for Jacksonville. Sinderick Marks, the guy who really was the difference, and you're right, he got working right there against Barksdale, and the ball just batted. This Ram, you can tell, an energized bunch. This Jacksonville team has really sold out for Gus Bradley. They've continued to play hard in the midst of a tough season, and it's starting to pay dividends here in St. Louis.
Becker from his own end zone. Sanders feels it. It was hit out of bounds. Jacksonville Jaguars will go back to work. Just over 4 minutes left in the first. Justin Blackmon has given them a 7-0 lead. Dylan McDermott and Tony Collette star in the new drama critics call a white-knuckle conspiracy thriller. Get hooked on hostages. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central only, CBS. Good field position to start for Jacksonville from their own 43. They lead 7-0. Gabbard from the gun. Out to Blackmon. Makes 1 man miss and a second, and is out close to a first down.
Great block by Ace Sanders to spring that little screen pass as Blackman's going to look for the football and watch as Sanders comes in and make sure that McLeod can't make that tackle.
They're going to spot it about a yard short of a first down, but into St. Louis territory. Jones-Drew. And he's close to the marker.
Depends on which guy they give the spot. The guy on the near side clearly gave him the first down. The guy on the far side, not so much. It looks like it's going to be a first down.
And that is the rookie, Luke Jokel, who's down on the ground, making his first NFL start today at left tackle.
And that is an enormous wrench in the workings of Jacksonville's offense.
Starting at left tackle with the trade of Eugene Monroe.
Right there, we'll see, and you can kind of see it coming as he gets rolled into. And that's happened so often in running plays down inside as the traffic comes in behind the guy who's protecting or blocking for his teammate. And they do get the first down as Jokel there in the background still being attended to. Here it is again. This play's going to come up right in behind him as he goes for the kick-out block. The pursuit from the interior as it swings around. You can see there his leg. He does manage to get it out pretty quickly, but obviously not in time to keep it from being injured.
They traded Monroe to the Baltimore Ravens for a 4th and a 5th rounder next April, and obviously that surprised a lot of people, but the general consensus, Steve, as he gets to his feet, was that it was a good move for Jacksonville at the time because Monroe was in the last year of his contract. The Jaguars decided they weren't going to give him a big new deal, so why not get something for him if he's not going to be around anyway, but there's no way to anticipate something like this.
That's right, and injuries are always the big unknown, and particularly when you lose a player that you're really depending on. The number one pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, a left tackle, number 2 overall. I mean, that is a good player that is now leaving the field.
So already thin at that offensive tackle spot. Cameron Bradfield and Austin Pastor. As you see Bradfield there from Grand Valley State. And so they figured they were going to have to chip today because of that fierce Rams rush. One of the best in the National Football League. A couple of gifted edge rushers in Chris Long and Robert Quinn, but probably even more so now.
Now Bradfield was the right tackle just a moment ago, came in on the field for Austin Pastor. Now Pastor comes back on the field at right tackle. And Bradfield will go to left tackle.
Gabbert able to step in and get rid of it, and that's over everybody's head, but intercepted. Matt Giordano, and he's got some room, and a clear back to the end zone, except for Gabbert. He steps in for 6.
Well, Gabbert felt the pressure from his left tackle. He stepped up away from it, just had enough time to get that pass off. But this ball goes way long, way high, right into the arms of Giordano, who was trying to hit Blackmon on the deep cut in down the field and sails it well over his head. Giordano standing in the middle of an open field, and Gabbert threw it right at him.
82 yards on the interception return for a touchdown.
It looked like Gabbert did all the right things, stepped up in the pocket, avoided the edge rush, released the ball on time, right to Giordano.
Line with the extra point, and we are tied at 7.
Well, the rush comes off the edge. That's Quinn coming off around Bradfield. Gabbert steps up away from it to get rid of the football. And you can see there, that ball comes out really high. He knows as soon as he releases it that ball got away from him. He started to chase that ball as soon as it was airborne. And watch, we take another look at it from the end zone. You'll see as the pressure comes off back there. Steps up. He throws this, you can see who he's going at, Blackmon, and he just throws it well over his head. And Bradfield, the left tackle, who took over for Luke Jokel just a moment ago, he did a pretty good job pushing Quinn around the edge, giving Gabbert a chance to step up. And Gabbert had time to throw that, so Bradfield did a good job. I mean, he didn't stone Robert Quinn at all, but he did run him past and give Gabbert a chance to step up just like a quarterback should do and throw that football. But Gabbert threw that 15 yards too far.
So a 67-yard touchdown pass from Gabbert to Blackmon and an 82-yard interception of a Blaine Gabbert pass by Matt Giordano puts the Rams on the board. 8 yards deep in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. Well, week 1 against Kansas City, Tamba Hali picked off Blaine Gabbert and returned it 10 yards for a touchdown. And then last week against Indianapolis, Darius Butler returned an interception, 41 yards for a touchdown. And now today, Matt Giordano on the errant throw, intended for Blackmon, where he needed to be, and then a nice run to the end zone to put the Rams on the board. So Gabbert will try to regroup. 1st and 10 from his own 20. 3:08 left to go in the first. Bubble screen out to Shorts. And close to the first down marker.
Well, you talk about how things have gone for Jacksonville. It's no secret they're a team that's been struggling offensively. They've scored 4 offensive touchdowns on the season with 1 today, and they've given up 3. They've scored 3 offensive and given up 3 offensive touchdowns.
That was good enough for a first down. He's spotted at the 30. Getting everyone situated. 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen. From the gun, Jones-Drew, right side, gets to the edge. Still on his feet. Great balance from Mojo, and he's knocked out of bounds at midfield by Alec Ogletree, the rookie.
Maurice Jones-Drew right there. You can see how difficult it was. Now, last year, 2012, he didn't play anything close to a full season because of the foot surgery that he had and the injury that he suffered through. Now this year, really stacking it on. We talked to him briefly before the game. He's getting there. He's got a little ways to go before he feels 100%. But he is getting better each week, and there's no question he's still a fighter.
Jordan Todman checks in at running back on first down. Gabbert, sideline, back shoulder throw to Blackmon, who makes the adjustment and has another first down.
Blackmon. That was a good catch in traffic. And you know, there as you get held up with the ball, you know the violence is coming. He took an extra shot from Dunbar coming out to clean up. Not your favorite thing as a wide receiver.
Pick up of 14 yards. Certainly Jacksonville's back in business now, and the read option keeps it down to the 31. Eugene Sims made the stop.
And I'll tell you, with as much has been said about the read option for quarterbacks, and Gabbert's a good athlete. He can run. Right here, you see there, he kind of slips and falls, but that's about all you need out of that play. It's a 5-yard gain on first down with your quarterback not taking a hit. That's kind of the ideal thing. Obviously, you'd love to run for a touchdown every time, but that's enough to really make the defense get back on its heels when your quarterback goes to that read option. They've got to respect him as a runner.
Forward is the fullback. Pump fake. Incomplete. He threw it behind Cecil Shorts, who had a step on Janoris Jenkins, the cornerback.
And it looked like Gabbert was throwing the back shoulder. He gave the pump fake right there. And then when he tries to throw this long, and that ball's behind him. You see the ball was fluttering as it came in. Gabbert didn't spin that ball very good, and it hit Jenkins right on the back of the head. And a couple of errant throws early by Gabbert. Now he stood tall in the pocket, delivered and make the right decision, but he has not made good throws.
That'll bring up 3rd and 6. Forsett has checked in the backfield with Gabbert. Keep it on the ground. Forsett picks up a yard or so to the 30. Quinn made the stop, and that'll bring up 4th and 4.
Well inside field goal range. Scobie will come on. He'll spot it just at about a 48-yard attempt.
Made all 3 of his field goal tries this season, including a 53-yarder last week to account for Jacksonville's only points against the Colts. Angle with the hold. Puts it down. Through the middle of the uprights. And so Jacksonville regains the lead. 13 seconds left to go in the first. 10-7. Blaine Gabbert was the consensus #1 player in the state, playing for Parkway West High School. And despite playing only 5 games as a senior, was the consensus #1 player in the state coming out. Prep star, went on to play at Missouri after originally being committed to Nebraska, but they made a coaching change, so he ended up being a star at Mizzou. Coming home as a starting quarterback in the National Football League for the first time. Scobie hits it to Cunningham. 9 yards deep, and he'll take a knee. They'll bring it out to the 20. Sam Bradford, the Rams still trying to get something going on offense.
Well, they've fallen behind in the last couple of weeks, and that's led to real blowouts. A 31-11 game and a 35 or 31-7 game and a 35-11 game. And and that's one of the reasons their run game suffered. They can't hand it off when they're down trailing by double digits. Sam Bradford acknowledged that. And here today, trailing by 3. Run game still very much involved. They do need to play better offensively, though.
That's Daryl Richardson up the middle to the 24-yard line. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. With our score, Jacksonville 10, the Rams 7. We'll return to St. Louis after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back at the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, ready to start the second quarter. 3 possessions, and really nothing much to brag about for the Rams as they go 2nd and 6. Keep it on the ground with Richardson. And Steve, let's take a look at this edition of Task Force.
Well, one of the things about the Rams, they're having trouble running here with an obvious heavy set at the top of your screen. They go heavy over there, but then they get beat right there at the point of attack, get pushed back into their own backfield, and then they can't seal off the backside. It looks like a 49er team beating when the running back tries to turn the corner. They're a little bit predictable. They set heavy to one side like they're going to run that way, and they hand it off and run straight there. The defense is all over it because they anticipate the play.
Rams have not been a good team on 3rd down. Only 4 of 30 the last 2 weeks, but they get one there on the completion to Jared Cook. That was good for 8 yards.
And now we've got flags coming in. It's getting chippy down there as they hold these receivers up in the secondary. The Rams players coming in to clean up on the pile, and Jacksonville not liking it.
Jonathan Cyprian made the stop.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 58 for coming into the pile late. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, see, that's Jason Babin.
He had 3 costly penalties last week. One nullified an interception.
See, he came in over the top there. There's a hit there and over the top, and that's just a, I don't know. I don't agree with that play. I really don't agree with that call. I mean, that's just a guy coming in, and obviously you don't want guys to pile on, but that was a pretty innocuous flyover.
So they're spotted at midfield. Richardson is the running back. Quick command in motion. Bradford guns it. Defensive back fell down, and Brian Quick made the catch.
Well, Alan Ball had a break on this pass when it was released. You see at the top of your screen, he opens his hips, he's running with the receiver, he stops, can't get his feet planted, and slips out from under him. He broke on this ball. It looked at first glance like he was going to be able to pick that football off, but his feet gave way, and Quick stayed with it and was able to make the reception.
Big play for the Rams, 28 yards. They've got something going. Jacksonville's 22. Richardson dances his way down to the 15.
Once again, the Rams power running right inside the tackles. This ball's going to come right up inside, right where Bradford was lined up, and you see him cut right back behind the backside blocks. Great job on the backside by big Jake Long, holding his block and keeping that backside pursuit from closing down on that running lane. That was a great job by the offensive line of the Rams.
2nd and 3. Richardson remains in the game. Long setback. They give it to him. Fights his way for a yard or so. Russell Allen made the stop.
Once again, the Rams coming right up inside. Allen on that play stepped right up in, met the ball in the hole, and had enough help from his defensive buddies not to have a wide open gap and give Richardson a chance to make him miss in the hole. That was a great job defensively by Jacksonville, responding to this run game of the Rams that all of a sudden is pushing him back.
They bring Stacy back in on 3rd and 2. Bradford, middle of the field, incomplete. Nice break on the ball by Posluszny on the pass intended for Lance Kendricks.
Now this is just a quick release pass. Kendricks is going to come right in over the football, and Bradford, you see, looks to his right, then comes back quickly. Posluszny does a great job anticipating, attacking it, coming over the top and slapping down on the play. That's a bang-bang play, and Rams fans will say he got there early, and Jacksonville fans will say, no way, you never get that call, and Jacksonville fans are right. You're not going to get that call. Posluszny coming over the top to smack that ball out of his hand is a good defensive play.
This will be a chip shot for Zerline. He's got the big leg and is perfect. 7 for 7 on the year, and that ties things up at 10. 12:03 left to play in the half. Field goal for the Rams. Tied at 10 here in St. Louis. 8 plays, 66 yards. They come away with the field goal. Zerline. Todman will bring it out. Todman. And a nice return out close to the 30-yard line. Denny Cunningham drove him out of bounds. There's Mojo. Now over 10,000 yards from scrimmage for his career. Third Jaguar to reach that mark.
Came in 10 yards shy of it, and that is a very productive career for Maurice Jones-Drew, and you see the kind of physical running he's exhibited over the years. It's no wonder that he's not more injured than he has been. What a warrior he has been for Jacksonville.
Gabbert from the gun. Steps up, underneath, incomplete. Trying to hit Justin Blackmon. Word we get on Luke Jokel is that he's been sent out for x-rays on his right ankle. So not the knee, that's the positive news, but he is done for the day. 2nd and 10 for Jacksonville. Mojo the lone setback. Play action. Gabbert has to get rid of it. That's the tight end screen to Harbor. Bobbles the football. It's loose.
This is called a fumble on the field.
Darian Stewart came away with it.
They let the play roll, so the official on that side decided it was a true fumble or steal.
First down.
And they're spotting the ball. This is Rams first down on the Jacksonville 16-yard line. That ball was just stolen. And it starts with a missed tackle right there. A missed block by Pastor right there. As you see the ball pop out there, comes right to him. Great heads-up play. Pastor misses a block, which allows Ogletree to get right over there and make the tackle. The ball pops out of Harbor's hands and ends up in the hands of Stewart.
So the Rams trying to take advantage of another turnover.
And every turnover will be reviewed, and this one looks like it's going to stand.
The only thing really in question would be the spot. But here they go from the 16. Bradford rolling to his right. Touchdown. That's Lance Kendricks in the end zone.
Well, it's just a play-action fake by Bradford. He comes out and there's nobody pursuing me. He has plenty of time to find his receiver. Let's see if he clears the pylon coming right into your face. And that is a great call. Touchdown.
Second touchdown in 2 weeks. Kendricks caught a 6-yard touchdown pass last week against the 49ers, his first of the season.
And just that fast Jacksonville goes from being in control of this game and being right in it to giving up a touchdown the other way with the turnover. One play is all it takes.
Having a word with Clay Harbor, how he's carrying the football. Little look at the touchdown.
Kendricks coming across right off the line of scrimmage.
Confirmed the touchdown upstairs. Zerline on to try the extra point. He's got it. It's the Rams by a touchdown, 17-10. Kendricks finds the end zone once again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Ameriprise Financial. More within reach. Microsoft Surface. Click in and do more. And by oneandone.com. Pre-reserved now from over 700 new domains with oneandone.com.
14 points off turnovers for the Rams, and they lead it 17-10 over winless Jacksonville. Zerline out of the end zone. Well, next Sunday is an NFL Today road trip. Boomer Esiason, Bill Cowher, and Shannon Sharp will be leaving the studio and entering the announce booth as analysts covering one of their former teams. While JB and Dan Marino will get what they've always wanted. They'll be alone to man the controls in New York. The guys hit the road next Sunday for the NFL Today road trip right here on CBS. So 14 points off Jacksonville mistakes. And it's 17-10. Toss to Mojo. Thought he had a lane for a second, loses his helmet, and James Laurinaitis was in on the stop.
Rams did a very nice job in recognizing this play. Flowing very fast to the football. Watch as they see the pitch play, and this is one of the reasons you don't see a pitch play very often in the NFL, because the players are so fast. But the Jacksonville Jaguars thought they got a nice kick-in block from Blackmon to get it to the edge.
Jolon Dunbar was there as well. Rams happy to have him back. Second and 11 after a loss of 1. Mojo can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Tremendous penetration, and it's been a tough day once again for Maurice Jones-Drew.
Not much happening up front, trying to, as you see him so often, he's the guy fighting for that extra yard, but there is just not many extra yards to be had.
He's got 28 yards on 27 yards now on 9 carries as they've made that official adjustment. He had one run of 20, so that means 8 carries for a total of 8 yards. Gabbert, down he goes, and the ball is loose once again. Jacksonville falls on it. Pressure coming from Michael Brockers.
You can see there it's not over until the ball is had. Brad Meester, the veteran, coming up with it.
36 years old.
And Brockers gets a big hit on Gabbert as he steps up into the pocket. Brockers stepping right inside the block of Rackley and getting the big hit. And I'll tell you what, Gabbert felt that one.
Brockers, first round pick in 2011, second year out of LSU. He's a guy they really like. High punt. Austin tries to find some running room and does. Squirts out across the 40 to about the 42-43 yard line. 9:24 left to play in the half. The Rams by a touchdown here in St. Louis. And over on the Jacksonville sideline, they were taking a look at Blaine Gabbert's hand, but he seems to be okay. Now, looking at the photos from upstairs. Meanwhile, the Rams back to work. Good balance from Zach Stacy, getting the start at running back today for St. Louis. Came in with just 1 carry, but Jeff Fisher wanted to give the 5th round pick from Vanderbilt a shot to see what he can do. There's Gabbert.
That injury, they were looking at his left wrist. Some consternation for a moment, but then moved over toward Jeff Fisher, and they started talking about the defensive looks.
Looking at 6. Tavon Austin out to midfield. Russell Allen made the stop. That's what they want to try to do, figure out a way to get Tavon Austin in space. They moved up 8 spots to get him at number 8. Came in leading the team with 20 receptions, but the longest was 14 yards. And they really signed him to be an explosive player. They're waiting for someone to light the fuse.
Exactly. Well, one of the things they're doing a lot of is just what they did there. Just throwing him the football into some space, hoping he can make some people miss. But I think it'll be more better getting him into the secondary.
Jacksonville came out of the blitz. That was intended for Kendricks and batted away. They've done a good job so far on Jared Cook.
You watch. Kendricks is just going to go out, find an area, and turn around. Bradford looks right at him and throws the football in, and Posluszny right there once again. We saw it earlier. Posluszny just batting that football away. The problem with those routes is the defenders don't even have a chance to drop back, and they look at the quarterback. When he plants that foot to throw it, they plant their foot and break on the nearest receiver. And the philosophy is to go to the sticks and make the catch. Well, that's not good enough.
Hecker, good high punt. They're going to let it go. And it will be down at the 1. Stedman Bailey, the rookie wide receiver out of West Virginia, with a nice heads-up play. Well, only CBS has the #1 news show on television. See why 15 million viewers are laughing with Robin Williams and the new hit comedy, The Crazy Ones. Thursday at 9, 8 Central on America's most watched network, only CBS. Kendrick back in there. 10th overall pick in 2011, coming out of Missouri. Still, Steve, only 23 years old. Left Missouri after his junior season. He was 20 as a rookie. Power I formation. Short drop. They're going to throw it up the sideline, and a nice adjustment to catch the football for Cecil Shorts.
And that was the best throw Blaine Gabbert's made all day. Even the touchdown wasn't as good a throw as this one, as Shorts goes out, gets to the outside, and just outruns Tremaine Johnson. Great ball delivery by Gabbert as he takes the shot. Makes it all worth it when you can take that shot and still complete the pass.
Tremaine Johnson started today for Portland Finnegan. He's batted stretch road all week, but cleared to play. Maurice Jones-Drew, a yard to the 30.
You talk about guys trying to struggle to get back on the field. That's something you don't anticipate as a guy just getting sick. And he was not himself through most of the week. Jeff Fisher was concerned about him getting on the field, and it looked like he was going to be full strength today, but he may be full strength and feel good, but he didn't get a chance to practice all week.
Finnegan is out. T.J. McDonald is gone for at least the next 6 weeks with the leg injury, so problems in the secondary for the Rams. Gabbert takes off. And there you see the flag down at about the 35-yard line.
Well, he did the right thing, and once he broke contain, just to slide in, and there was no flag on that play. That was, I think, one of the towels that one of the players have on their belt fell off, and it looked like a flag. There was no flag on that play, so they're going to stand. It's 3rd and 6. Yeah, and Gus Bradley, rightfully so. You can't hit if the quarterback slides in, you're not supposed to hit him. And Gabbert took a nice halfway decent shot there.
1 of 5 on 3rd down for Jacksonville so far. Gabbert loses the football. There's a scramble for it.
Jacksonville kept control as Maurice Jones-Drew ends up with that ball was bouncing around like a rubber Easter egg. And Maurice Jones-Drew finally ends up with it. Gabbert steps up into the pocket, looks, he's going to go to his right, and then sees the end, Chris Long coming in. Long forces the fumble. The ball's bouncing around, finally bounced all the way out here to where Maurice Jones-Drew grabs it. And this ball bounced around like it had eyes and didn't want to be found. See there, it finally makes its way out, and Jones-Drew grabs it.
Almost another costly turnover for Jacksonville. Austin from the 18. Almost out of step. He loses the football. But they say that he was down before it came out.
Winston Guy got down there on the coverage for Jacksonville, did a nice job. But you're right, I think that's a good call. There's no question he was down when that ball came tumbling out. And that you can see, even this crowd, everybody anticipates Tavon Austin so much. They're just waiting for that moment when he breaks the big one.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pfizer. And by Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost.
Back in St. Louis, a holding call on the Rams on the return, so they push him back to the 10-yard line. 5:38 left to go in the half, 17-10. St. Louis. $14 of the Rams' points coming off turnovers. And that includes an 82-yard interception return for a touchdown by Matt Giordano. Richardson cuts a nice hole and a first down. Jonathan Cyprian, the rookie safety, made the stop.
Yeah, the Rams coming out in 2 tight ends, a balanced formation with a single back. This is going to come right off the side. They're going to get a great block at the point of attack by Kendricks. Watch as he stands up. Jacksonville does not set the edge of that defense as Kendricks pushes Andre Branch right back into the secondary and opens up that hole. Great job up front by the tight end of the Rams.
Richardson, the Jacksonville native who played his college ball in Texas at Abilene Christian. They run the slant to Gibbons. And that's a first down. Out to the 38-yard line, Cyprian made the stop. Chris Gibbons, 13 catches for 235 yards coming in.
Just a quick man-to-man coverage on the slant route. Blackmon almost gets a piece of that. Cyprian coming from the inside to make the tackle.
A couple of nice plays for St. Louis. First down from their own 38. Offset eye, that's Kendricks in motion. Keep it on the ground. Stacy fights his way close to the 40. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, plus Jim Nance and Phil Simms will preview the big Denver-Dallas matchup. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd and 9 after the gain of 1. Started at the 39. Stacy stays in the game. Power I formation for the Rams. Play action. Bradford. Kendricks. And Lance Kendricks has been the favorite target today for Sam Bradford. That was good for 16 yards.
Yeah, he's going to come from the other side of the formation and cross over and gets by Pusluzny. Pusluzny, just as he looks for Kendricks to cover him, Kendricks has already passed him. The good play fake held Pusluzny's eyes enough that he couldn't find Kendricks once it was his turn to cover him. And it led to the open area where Kendricks caught the ball for the first down.
Jared Cook has come back in. Normally the featured tight end, but 4 catches for Kendricks today. Good strike onto Austin. Down to the 41-yard line, Russell Allen made the stop.
Another example, they're just trying everything they can to get Tavon Austin the ball. I think one of the things they should do is they got to get him into the secondary. He's catching everything at the line of scrimmage, and it's just too easy with the sidelines to corral him.
And we talked to Sam Bradford about Tavon Austin. He said he's got great speed, but other teams aren't worried about him yet because he hadn't put that speed on tape. In other words, he hasn't broken a big play yet. He said, look out when that happens, because when teams start respecting his speed, the Rams feel that's going to open up a lot of other things on their offense. Bradford looking long, was expecting Chris Gibbons to come back, and he was well covered by Will Blackmon.
And that was a miscommunication as Bradford was throwing the back shoulder. You see, as Gibbons comes up the sideline, he's just going deep, and as he goes deep, that ball comes back to his back shoulder. And you can see the hands what was going on. He didn't know. Bradford threw the back shoulder, and Gibbons didn't see it.
3rd and 6. 2 of 7 on 3rd down for the Rams. Bradford, lots of time. Lost it to Tavon Austin. And Tavon Austin has his biggest gain in the National Football League.
And that was what we were just talking about. They got him into the secondary, and Bradford had time to wait on him to find a spot. This is Austin right here. Watch as he goes up and this is zone coverage. He does exactly the right thing. In zone coverage, you find a dead spot and sit down, and Bradford blew right on him. Great play by the Rams, adjusting to the zone coverage.
As we have reached the 2-minute warning. Two very different quarters. Jacksonville dominating the first. The Rams since. This has been a good-looking drive, and up the middle there's Zach Stacy. Powering his way down inside the 10.
This is a very effective drive for St. Louis, and I think the difference in that, you saw the numbers on yards, but the real difference has been the turnovers for Jacksonville, giving up 14 points on those 2 turnovers, one directly by the interception return, and this, as we've seen the entire first half, their running game with Zach Stacy right up between the tackles, right over the top of the guards in that play, well blocked up front, and this Rams offensive line is really starting to get a feel for this run game.
4 first downs on this drive that started at the St. Louis 10. Back to the ground. Stacy taking his way down inside the 5, and that'll bring up first and goal.
Now you can look for the Rams to also just come on and continue to run the football. Red zone offense is a big issue in the National Football League. You got to be good, and if you can run it, that makes everything better. And you can bet, as Gus Bradley watches his defense getting pushed around, that Jeff Fisher's going to call that number again. You go down there and pushing the ball like that, you're going to keep doing it until they stop you.
Stacy. Lone setback, but fake it to him. Bradford with time, and that was very nearly intercepted. Right into the arms of Mike Harris.
Mike Harris batted that down like it was hot. I don't know, just right here. And then you can see there the ball never gets to Austin. As Bradford lets this go. Oh, he just got a piece of it. Okay. Barely got a piece of it, but I don't agree with that play call. I mean, they're running the ball extremely well up inside. I think you got to give your guys a chance to power it in. And you see there, they don't run the ball when they get down here, and I think they should.
Only team without a rushing touchdown in the NFL. Isaiah Peed has checked in the game. Bradford will throw it to the end zone and incomplete. Tried to hit Peed right at the goal line.
And you can tell the fans are getting a little bit frustrated, as am I. They ran the football extremely effectively all the way down this drive. Remember, they started almost on their own 10-yard line and have sprinkled runs in effectively throughout the drive, and now that's what got them the first down inside or at the 5-yard line here, and then they've just completely abandoned it on first and second down.
Lance Kendricks, the tight end, checks in along with Stacy on 3rd and goal. Just inside the 5. Bradford. Touchdown, Austin Pettis, who has become Sam Bradford's favorite target.
There you have it. Two plays in the passing game that didn't look all that good, and then with zone coverage and good time in the pocket, Sam Bradford guns one into Pettis. An easy touchdown as the receiver just gets into the end zone, turns around, and shuffles to the open area, and Bradford, with the big arm, rifles it in. Tough to defend in zone coverage, that route.
Zerline on to try the extra point. Boots it through as the Rams extend their lead on the touchdown catch by Pettis, 24-10. 12 plays, 90 yards on the drive.
Well, when you get this play like this, the only way to defend it, really, if you're going to make a good throw, is to do it with Bradford at the front, and you got to get in his face and make him come off his spot, because once he lets it go and that receiver is just standing there, the throw is too short and the ball has too much velocity to break on it once it's in the air. The defenders won't be able to plant their feet and break in front of the receiver because of the velocity of the throw. And the only way to defend a play like this is from the front end, by getting your hands up, knocking it down, or sacking the quarterback. That zone coverage that's what it's designed to do. You got to find the guy first and stand between him and the quarterback. Otherwise, with a big arm, that ball's going to get in there. 12
plays, an impressive drive, 90 yards, 3rd touchdown catch of the season for Austin Pettis in his 3rd year out of Boise State, 3rd round pick in 2011. So 24-10 Rams. 27 seconds left to go in the half. Zerline ready to kick it away once again. Blackmon back deep for Jacksonville. 3 yards deep, he brings it out. Bounces off a couple of defenders and brought down at about the 23-yard line. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Gower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 5, plus Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. We'll preview the big Dallas-Denver matchup. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Busy day around the National Football League. Jacksonville 21 seconds to work with. They trail by 14. Draw and Mojo. Out across the 30 to the 33. Rodney McLeod made the stop.
Yeah, I think, and Jacksonville seems content to go in trailing by 14 at the half, and I disagree. I think you got to go and try and get into position to kick a field goal in that space. You got timeouts, use them. You can't go down like that.
Well, that's the end of the first half. We'll be back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Diet Pepsi encourages fans to bid on pink gear to benefit the NFL's A Crucial Catch campaign. Show you're fan enough by visiting NFL.com/auction to bid for pink. Back here in St. Louis, 24-10 Rams. Bill McAtee along with Steve Tasker. And Steve, Jacksonville continues to struggle, and the Rams able to take advantage of that.
Well, the struggle starts with the turnovers. 2 turnovers led to 14 points. That's the difference in the football game. Plus, Jacksonville fumbled it 2 more times and got those fumbles back in the pocket. They can't continue to turn the football over and think they're going to win football games. That's really been the difference today. This is a dead-even game numbers-wise, except for the points off turnovers and the -2 ratio for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Rams won the initial toss, so they deferred to the second half. They'll have the football to start the third quarter.
And there you see the numbers. The rush yards are a little bit in favor of the Rams, and you can credit them for getting their running game back on track. And then, total yards very even, and it's those turnovers and points off turnovers that are the difference in this football game.
Sam Bradford trying to get things together. Told us he thinks he may have been trying to do too much over the last couple of games. He completed 63% of his passes for 651 yards and 5 touchdowns in the first 2 games, but only 53% for 442 yards and 2 scores over the last 2 weeks. Of course, part of that comes down to protection. Bradford was sacked only twice in those first 2 games, but 11 times in the last 2. Pretty good protection today.
A little bit of it has to do with the schedule of whom they were playing, no question about it. But St. Louis here being able to take advantage of those turnovers really has a leg up in this second half.
Scobie drills it. Cunningham will bring it out. And brought down at about the 26. Just underway here in the second half, and let's take a look at what the Rams were able to do with the football in that opening half.
Well, this last 4 possessions were much better, although they did get the punt. They got scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions. You could feel the game turning, but then again, only for 16 yards and 1 play. But this drive at the end of the half, 12 plays for 90 yards and the touchdown, that was pretty impressive.
They'll take over from their own 27-yard line. Zach Stacy, 8 carries, 38 yards in his first NFL start. The rookie 5th-round pick out of Vanderbilt. They run the slant. Tried to hit Chris Givens, but he couldn't bring it in.
Will Blackmon was all over that. He's seen that before in the first half. Watch how fast Blackmon, right there, 24, comes in and jumps this route, swipes down hard on Givens' arms. No chance for that completion. That's how you defend a quick slant in the NFL. Great job by Blackmon.
Signed by Jacksonville on August 28th after being released from Seattle the following day. He had an interception in Jacksonville's final preseason game. So 2nd and 10. Stacy. Stacked up at the 30.
We talked about Stacy and how coming into this game he'd had 1 carry for 4 yards. He's 5'8", 214 pounds. You see there he's going to come off for a break. Well, no, he's not going to. Now you can see he's limping. He wanted to come off. They're not going to see him. Let him come off. But he's a guy who's very powerfully built. And Jeff Fisher told us we're going to power run right at these guys and see if we can get something going.
Arthur from the gun, 3rd and 7. Rams with a 2-touchdown lead. Stands in, center of the field, incomplete. Had Pettis, but led him a little too much. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Puzzlesny's going to come in and watch as Bradford tries to step up. He sees Puzzlesny just as he starts to let it go. Puzzlesny gets his hip and moves him off balance, and right there is just, that's it. I mean, Puzzlesny defended that pass when Bradford threw it, and it led to the incompletion. And you see here in punt formation, that's Tavon Austin right there.
And Hecker can throw the ball. He does, and they're 7 on 7. He's going to punt. This one is blocked. Scramble for the loose.
It's still alive. Jacksonville is still loose. Jacksonville has an opportunity to pick that ball up and get another 1st down. It doesn't really matter because this is anyway. 4th down. This is going to be Jacksonville ball either way. The players are just playing instinctively no matter what. Doesn't matter who comes up with it because a Rams player had possession of it and then fumbled it again. This is going to be Jacksonville's ball.
This Przenski is the man who blocked the punt.
And we pointed out that Tavon Austin was the slot on that, which is going to really cause a lot of problems for teams to get that on tape. Coming right up the middle, Przenski gets a piece of that.
First touching of the kick beyond the line by number 53 of the kicking team. The kick ends at the 25-yard line. Therefore, it will be Jacksonville's ball at the spot of first touching. 1st down.
See, once that ball, even if it's blocked, if it goes past the line of scrimmage, it is exactly like any punt that was not blocked. As you'll see, Necker gets this up, and as soon as this ball, even if it's blocked, if it goes past the line of scrimmage, it's airborne. It's just like any other punt. So when the Rams player touches it, it's dead. But by the same token, if a Jacksonville player picks it up and runs around with it, even if the Jacksonville player fumbles it away, Jacksonville still gets the ball back with no penalty. So that's why Jacksonville had a no-lose situation in there.
See if the Jaguars can take advantage of it. And that is caught by Clay Harbert. Harbert did not get in the end zone. They're going to spot him down at the 4.
Gabbard did a nice job of throwing that football into Harbor. And here's the punt. Now this is Tavon Austin, but Przenski's right here. He's going to come right up through the middle and block this. Now once this ball is blocked, and it goes by the line of scrimmage, it's just like every other kick. And once a Ram touches it, Jacksonville can field it and do anything they want with it at no penalty. They can take the ball where the Rams first touched it.
1st and goal for the Jaguars. Gabbard. Looked like he was trying to run the quarterback draw, but no running room. Brought down at the 5.
He did not run that like he wanted to run it. I mean, that was a very timid and indecisive run by Gabbard. It looked like he wanted to throw this somewhere, but then again, it looked like a called quarterback draw. And he got hammered in the prime. He's taken a couple of shots when he's been trying to slide today, and he's going to have to do a better job of protecting himself.
Ogletree, the rookie, was in on the tackle. 2nd and goal. Again from the gun. Gabbard sets, fires. Incomplete. Jeremy Ebert was the intended receiver. He's been on and off the roster all season. Today up as the 4th wide with injuries to Stephen Burton and Mike Brown.
Yeah, Gabbard had a few words for Ebert. He wanted him to slide to the outside away. He wanted him to slide to that direction as this ball comes in there, and Ebert stays right where he is. He's defended, and Gabbard expected him to slide away from the defender down the goal line.
The ball may have been tipped. 3rd and goal for Jacksonville. Trying to take advantage of the block punt. Gabbard. And that was almost picked off. very nearly intercepted by Rodney McCray. McLeod, rather.
Yeah, this drive's going to end with that incompletion, and they did not look sharp in the red zone. Gabbert's going to throw this, try to fit it into Blackmon, and Blackmon, you can see there, he's just waiting for the ball, much like the Rams just did. He wants that ball gunned right in on him, and Gabbert throws his high over the top right there. Blackmon wants it right on him, and Gabbert is throwing that ball to the inside.
So we'll see the field goal unit. 23 yards for Scobie. Perfect 4-4 this season. Still perfect. 3 points for Jacksonville. And we have a marker down. And check the penalty.
And this is 4th and 5, and it'll be half the distance. They won't take those points off the board.
Defense number 21 in the neutral zone at the snap. The extra point is good. A 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
We'll give them 2 more points. We'll call it 3. 24-13 here in the third. Jacksonville ended up taking the points off the board. They're going to go for it on 4th and goal. Gabbert.
Oh, that was terrible.
Incomplete. Clay Harbor, the intended receiver, and a couple of flags. We may have pass interference on Tremaine Johnson.
Now, there was a field goal and offsides on the field goal. Gus Bradley decided not to take the field goal. He took the points off the board and got a 4th and 2.5 instead of a 4th and 5 and put his offense back on the field with a 4th down. You can see they had given him the 3 points. It was 13-24 in favor of St. Louis. Gus Bradley took the points off the board and gave his team a chance for the touchdown, and now it looks like there's a penalty
against
in
both teams on
the
this
end
play.
zone.
Pass interference, the defense for grabbing the jersey of the receiver. Pass interference against the offense for yanking and pulling him back. Both of these penalties will offset. Replay, 4th down.
Well, that's Tremaine Johnson and Clay Harbor both called for infractions.
Both these guys are a penalty, and you see there as Harbor tries to get it. Well, I don't know about Harbor. He was trying to get off the grab. I don't agree with that call against Harbor. It looked like he was trying to get loose. Of course, I was an offensive player, so I may be biased.
So they'll replay 4th and goal. And maybe when you're winless, these are the kinds of things you do to keep your guys engaged.
Well, if you don't get it, St. Louis still has terrible field position.
Gabbert with time, back of the end zone. Intercepted. James Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker. And they'll bring it out to the 20. Gabbert trying to hit Cecil Shorts. So no points for Jacksonville. 12:29 left in the third. The Rams will take over when we come back. James Laurinaitis with the interception. No points for Jacksonville. The Rams take over their own 20, leading by 14. Stacy, left side, brought down near the 25.
Yeah, there was a lot going on at that last 4th down. They had a penalty, a double penalty that gave the Jaguars an extra chance at it, and that was after Gus Bradley pulled the good field goal off the board. So instead of 13-24 and kicking off, they tried to go for it on 4th down and 2.5. Then there was a double penalty, an offset. They got another chance at it, and it looked like even if it didn't go well, Jacksonville would have the Rams backed up. Well, Gabbert throws the interception, and now it's 1st and 10 on the 20 for St. Louis, and away they go.
Richardson, the Jacksonville native, gets it on 2nd and 5. Tries to find some running room. He's hammered down at the 26 by Puslesny. 3 and out for the Rams to start the second half. Then the block punt on their first possession, coming off their best quarter of the season. 17 points in that second quarter, and that has to be good news for Jeff Fisher. 3rd and 4 for St. Louis.
And you think, why did Gus Bradley take those points off? Well, this is an 0-4 team struggling to get their first win. He wanted to give his team a chance and a golden opportunity down deep to feel good about themselves, and they could not get it done.
Rams have been good on 3rd down today, converting 4 times. There's a 5th. Right at the 31-yard line, Austin Pettis with the catch. strike thrown by Bradford, a gain of 6.
Yeah, Pettis is a big target at 6'3", 207, so it's easy to see why Bradford likes him. He's got a good catch radius. And the Rams have a lot of that in their offense, getting the guy to the sticks and gunning the ball in there.
He said after 3 years together, you've developed a lot of trust. He said he's smart, play all over the field, he's a big target, and if you throw it to him, he'll come down with the football. Fresh set of downs. Jacksonville showing a corner blitz. Here they come. Setting up the screen and incomplete. They had the right play called, but just couldn't execute it. Richardson, the intended receiver.
Richardson got a piece of Mike Harris as he came in off the blitz, but he didn't finish his route. He kind of stayed in there. He's going to come out here and block. He needs to move this way instead of just turning around for the football. He gets hit pretty good. You see where Bradford wanted him. He needed to get to the sideline. Bradford had to get rid of the football. So Richardson's got to make himself a little bit more available on that screen pass after he makes contact.
Three receivers to the lower part of your screen. That's where Bradford is looking. Pump fake and down he goes. Tripped up. Andre Branch got in the backfield.
Roy Miller lost his helmet on this play as he comes from the inside. They're working against Harvey Dahl there, and you see that Dahl just takes his helmet off up at the top. Bradford ends up with the ball on his chest. He just gets tripped over his own man. Just trips over his own. Trips over the feet of Jake Long.
Those are some big feet. 3rd and 15. Delayed blitz. Bradford takes off. Brought down near the original line of scrimmage by Cyprien.
Yeah, that play was doomed by the pressure as Bradford stepped back to throw this football. There was no outlet for him. The pressure had cut it off, and all his receivers were running deep routes down the field to pick up the first down. No outlet receiver, and Bradford had to tuck it and run.
Disappointing series for the Rams.
Usually when you get in that position, one guy is assigned to break his route off. Nobody did.
Hecker turns it over. Sanders doesn't make the fair catch. And fights for a couple. Out to about the 23, a 51-yard punt. Jaguars will take over, trailing by 14.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. And by Red Strawberry Ale. Pick different.
Back in St. Louis, Jacksonville taking over at their own 22-yard line. 9:01 left to go in the 3rd. Mojo, ankle tackle, and wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. And this was not an attractive sequence.
Yeah,
this was okay.
Yeah, hits the field goal, that's good. But then this, and I thought this was a bad call. Johnson had him. Harbor was trying to get away. I did not see a push and pull by Harbor. And then Gabbert makes the bad throw, bad decision to the back of the end zone, and it turns that drive from a scoring drive into a non-scoring drive.
Talfoa, the fullback, after Gabbert dropped the snap. Let's check in for an update with JB and Shannon in New York.
Shannon, Coach Cowher says give Fitzpatrick some love.
Okay. Chris Johnson, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to get in trouble. You're going to almost sack me. I'm going to go like 2 yards, turn around. I'm going to shovel you the ball, and I want you to do the rest on your own. I'm going to get all the credit. Picks up a convoy. Weaves his way. Picks up a block from Nate Washington. Into the end zone. Kansas City 13, Tennessee 7.
Bill and Steve, I don't know if that qualifies as giving him love, but back to Bill and Steve.
All right, guys. Thank you. Jake Locker out for the next few weeks with that hip injury. Gabbert on the move. Tried to loft it over the defender's head to hit Clay Harbor, and that was batted down by Tremaine Johnson, and Gabbert comes up limping.
And that was an ineffective 3-and-out. It's there and just throws it right at Tremaine Johnson as he's in the air. Gabbert doesn't put enough in there, and he just twisted his ankle right there as he
Punts it to Trayvon Austin. Feels it at the 25. Has some room trying to get to the outside. And there's a marker down on the play. And Austin brought down at the 26. But this may be coming back. J.T. Thomas made the stop.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 53. 10-yard penalty, first down.
They caught on Darren Bates. Austin had one called back a couple weeks ago against Dallas. 24-10 Rams. Penalties continue to be a problem for the Rams as they march them back to their own 15. That's where St. Louis starts first and 10, leading 24-10. Running up the middle, Richardson. As Lusney was in on the tackle.
See, one of the things that's contributed to their 1-3 start is that right there, and that also goes back to last year throughout that season. So, you know, when you dig yourself a hole, when you find yourself in a hole, it's best to stop digging. And the Rams have yet to lay the shovel down because they keep. I mean, Tavon Austin's had two big returns, neither one counted today.
6 penalties for 53 yards today. 2nd and 7. Richardson. Corralled at the 23.
You talk about the penalties and how they change things. Yes, they do count for the 53 yards in penalties, but they take away the enormous plays that led to those penalties. And Gus Bradley's Jacksonville Jaguars unable to take advantage of those because they're turning the football over.
Jacksonville came in today last in the NFL on offense. They have 223 yards. It's just about their average coming in and averaging less than 8 points a game for the first 4 weeks. Richardson. And he's going to be short of the first down. Jonathan Cyprien made the stop.
Yeah, this is great point of attack by the interior of the defensive line of Jacksonville. Great job by Roy Miller.
Plus Lusney in there.
Tyson Alulu.
So the Rams will have to punt. Sanders has had some good moments as well. Dropped immediately. Did a good job hanging on to the football. Did not call for the fair catch. That Giordano made the stop, and we're going to see Chad Henne when we come back. 5:14 left to play in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by E-Trade.
Chad Henne taking over at quarterback. Short drop. And he's going deep. Blackmon all alone. Justin Blackmon with another big play for Jacksonville. Blaine Gabbert, the word we have is a hamstring injury. We don't know whether or not he'll return.
And Jacksonville did a nice job of getting Janoris Jenkins isolated at the top. He had a two-way go between two receivers, and Blackmon became the one. Henne went right to him.
39-yard gain. Jacksonville up quickly. Going for the end zone. It's short, so incomplete.
Well, you can see the difference in Chad Henne and Blaine Gabbert. Henne's going to give his receivers a chance to make a play. Now, Blackmon was wide open on the play just before this where he made the completion, but he gave Cecil Shorts a chance to go up on a 50-50 ball and see if he can make it. He was working against Tremaine Johnson on the near side, and it came up incomplete, but nevertheless, all of a sudden this defense is going, wait a minute, this guy's throwing the ball all over the place.
And now we get the word that Gabbert is done for the day, will not return. Second and 10, play action. Henny had to get rid of it and does to the tight end. Harper's going to make a nice play. Another first down for Jacksonville, down inside the 20 to around the 18. McLeod made the stop, a pickup of 12.
Well, and Chad Henne knows that every time he gets on the football field, it's an opportunity. And what a quick job, a quick release, and made a good enough throw. It wasn't a great throw, but it gave his guy a chance to catch it, did Harbor, and to convert it in the first down. Great job by Henne getting rid of that football in the face of the rush.
Robert Quinn hurried the throw. Henne as the Jaguars on the move. Come on the blitz. Incomplete. Threw it out into the flat for Jeremy Ebert.
And that was probably a fortunate incompletion for the Jaguars. Ebert was not going to go anywhere. He had two defenders and no help off the ball. As this ball comes in, it did get tipped just a minute and just a hair.
Alec Ogletree, the rookie linebacker, who has played really well, and Jeff Fisher thinks is going to be a heck of a ball player already. The Rams' leading tackler. He had 11 last week against the 49ers. So second down for Jacksonville and another incomplete pass.
And that one got tipped as well, it looked like, at the line of scrimmage. The offensive line of the Jacksonville Jaguars got to do a better job of getting into the defenders to keep their hands down as the Rams continue to tip and bat passes. One is, the worst case scenario is when they bat it straight up in the air, it turns into an interception. The quarterback releasing the football really can't pick and choose all that much if he wants to be accurate. He's got to release that football on the trajectory it needs to be released on.
And Henne's going to take a timeout. Saw something that he didn't like, so the Jaguars will get organized. Third down upcoming. Second time in the red zone for Jacksonville. Chad Henne at the controls. Blaine Gabbert is done for the day with a hamstring injury. We're set in the backfield with Henne on 3rd and 10. Rams rush 4. Henne brought down. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Picked up maybe one, but brought down by Chris Long.
Well, once again, Josh Scobie will come on and try the field goal. As Henne steps up, there's just nowhere to run. The pressure starts to collapse on him, and it looked as though he might try and continue to look down the field, but the pressure and the pursuit won't make that happen. That was a great job by the defensive front. Only a 4-man rush on Henne.
34-yard field goal try for Scobie. And once again, he's good. And they're going to leave those on the board. So Chad Henne able to march the Jaguars down the field, and they come away with 3, 24-13 with 3:22 left to go in the third. Well, get inside the mind of a quarterback. Join Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, and Adam Shine on NFL Monday QB. Tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Speaking of QBs, let's do a quarterback comparison. Blaine Gabbert had the big completion to Justin Blackmon, who's got 4 catches for 129 yards. He ends the day 9 of 19 for 181. Touchdown, 2 interceptions. Bradford, 133, and a pair of scoring strikes.
As bad as Gabbert has looked with the interceptions and the fumbles, they're still in this football game with 11 points down and having left 3 points on the board and taken them off for that unusual sequence in the first half.
Cunningham 8 yards deep in the end zone. And he'll bring this out. Tries to go right up the gut. No running room. Brought down at the 16. Sam Bradford, the Rams offense, goes back to work.
This is a Rams team that really felt like had some expectations this year in their second second year with Jeff Fisher putting together, and they're not really generating the offensive firepower they thought they would, particularly with the addition of Tavon Austin. And Jeff Fisher, of course, they got down early in the last couple of weeks, but they really had high expectations for what they were going to be able to accomplish, particularly in their division, which is really a difficult division.
Play action. Good fake. Bradford trying to hit Jared Cook, and hand fighting all the way, and they're going to call Will Blackmon for pass interference.
Yeah, Jared Cook has been very quiet today. He's had two receptions, but this one they were going to go for the big one. That's him in motion at the top of your screen. Good move to the post
Pass
as he turns over the corner.
Defense number 24, automatic first down.
Blackmon didn't allow Cook to turn around and play that football, and that's where the penalty flag came in.
One of the Rams' big free agent signings, Jake Long, the other, the four-time Pro Bowler, brought in from Miami to play left tackle. Two guys really represented big upgrades for the St. Louis offense. But they came in today averaging just over 300 yards a game, near the bottom of the league. Just haven't gelled yet. Big factor has been a lack of a running game. And plays like that. Corey Harkey unable to bring that in. Let's check in once again with JB and Shannon in New York for an update.
Giants back in the mix with plays like this.
For the first time this year, JB, I started Eli Manning on my fantasy team. 26 yards to Ruben Randall, 19-14, Eagles on top, but the Giants are moving.
Bill and Steve, you think he's excited about that?
Sounds like it. Take a look at the standings in the NFC East. Dallas with the big game coming up later. See it here on CBS against the Broncos. 2nd and 10 for St. Louis. Bradford, lots of time, going deep. He had Chris Gibbons, who had to wait, and Blackmon was able to close and swat it away.
Yeah, Sam Bradford was a half a second late with this football, and it gave Blackmon a chance to close. You see there as he closes, there were 3 yards of separation, and Blackmon doesn't give up. Gibbons has to wait on it. You see as he kind of has to raise up and wait for the football to get there, and that allows Blackmon to make the play. Bradford just that much late with that ball.
So 3rd and 10 for St. Louis. Bradford, here they come on the blitz, stands in, throws a strike to Jared Cook. And Cook has a St. Louis first down. Cyprian made the stop, but they're in Jacksonville territory after a gain of 14.
Well, with the departure of Danny Amendola, it's interesting because that guy, Jared Cook, couldn't be more different than Danny Amendola. He's a big, athletic tight end, but they're asking him, because of his athleticism, to do a lot of the things, not everything, but a lot of the things that Amendola did in their third down package. He's such a good receiver, and he's such a different type of matchup that it changes everything for the defense when you got a guy like that who's that versatile, and the Rams are using him that way.
3rd catch of the game, 26 yards for Cook. Run it up the middle, nice hole. Stacy powers his way to a first down. NFL fans, share your story about why you love NFL football. Go to NFL.com/TogetherWeMakeFootball for official rules and a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 48.
Well, as you can see, when you have a little success, as the Rams just did in the passing game and converting that 3rd down, it's a little easier to get some yards in the running game. You see there, that last week the rush yards 18 in an entire game.
Stacy adds a couple to that total, wrapped up by Cyprian. Very active, strong safety, the rookie out of Florida International. 33rd pick overall, and a guy that the Jaguars feel like they can start to build that defense around.
Yeah, Gus Bradley told us he has what Bradley believes the ability and what's inside of him to be a really, truly great player in the NFL. He's got the right attitude, he's a smart guy, and Bradley has high hopes for him in his future in Jacksonville.
So Richardson in the backfield, moves over to the other side of Bradford. They fake it to him. Bradford did a spin move to get away, and that is caught by Brian Quick. Stepped out of bounds at about the 20 but that was good for 17 yards.
That was a fantastic job by Quick, making himself available. As this play breaks down, this is Quick out here. He'll end up on the sidelines as he forces the defender, Alan Ball, deep. He just breaks off. Now, Ball did the right thing. He picked up Austin on the deep route, and it took that long for the underneath coverage to find Quick and make the play on him. Great job by the Rams, both with Bradford and Quick on that play.
Near the end of the third quarter, Darrell Richardson in the backfield. They give it to him on first down. One of the goals for the Rams today was to try to create a more balanced offense. Bradford came in throwing an average of 45 times a game. As we have reached the end of the third quarter, and we'll return to St. Louis after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Ready to start the final quarter. We talked with Jeff Fisher about the season so far. He's been telling his players to look at it as a four-quarter game. They're 1-3 through the first quarter, but still 3 quarters remaining. Nice looking drive for the Rams. 2nd and 9. Play action. Bradford. Thrust from the pocket. Throws on the run and incomplete.
You talk about how this game progressed. This is St. Louis's 4th trip down to the red zone of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The first 3 trips yielded 17 points. Jacksonville, on the other hand, has only had 2 red zone trips that yielded only 3 points. The Rams have been extremely effective when they've got into scoring position today. And Jacksonville, with their backs against the wall, here once again.
Bradford had to take off. Pursued by Tyson Alu. Alu showed some pretty good speed. 3rd and 9. 6 of 14 on 3rd down. Here they come on the blitz. Bradford underneath and incomplete. Again, Austin started to take off before he brought the football in. And has Bradford shaking his head.
That's 2 drops by Austin today. Once in the first quarter and now here in the fourth quarter as well. You see there, just trying to get underneath. And even there, you see, it's almost hard to get him the ball quick enough. I mean, Bradford just dropped back, gunned it as fast as he could, and even then it seemed as though Austin was waiting, allowing the defenders to converge on him. There's no question. When Austin is on the field, the defenders, there's more than one guy looking to where he is. They really respect his big play ability, even though he hasn't had too many.
Zerline, 37 yards out, and he stays perfect on the season. Rams extend their lead once again here early in the final quarter. Zerline with a 37-yard field goal, 10-play drive, 65 yards, 3.5 minutes. Again, a 2-touchdown game. Early in the fourth, 27-13 Rams. Zerline through the end zone. And they'll bring it out to the 20. Well, don't miss a new episode of the hit drama Person of Interest. New night and time, Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Big sports weekend for the fans here in St. Louis. The Rams trying to get back on track today. And baseball, the Cardinals are in the National League Divisional Series. They'll play Game 3 in Pittsburgh later this afternoon. That series tied at 1. They'll come back here, if necessary, for Game 5 on Wednesday. The Blues beat the Panthers 7-0 yesterday in their second game of the season, so a lot to keep track of for the St. Louis fans. Underneath the mojo, he has a little running room. And out close to a first down. Laurinaitis made the stop.
And I think at this point for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gus Bradley just wants to string some good plays together. They want to come out, try and score some points, keep it positive, because Gus Bradley's the most positive guy probably in the National Football League. I kid you not. This guy, not only is the glass half full, the other glass that's empty is just waiting to be filled. So there are going to be some things going on.
Gets to the edge, lowers his shoulder and brought down out to the 37-yard line. Darian Stewart, the strong safety, made the stop.
When you think about, switching quarterbacks mid-game like they've had to do with Blaine Gabbert and the hamstring injury, Chad Henne's been the guy who's probably practiced more as a starting quarterback over the past month than anybody else on the roster.
13 carries, 44 yards from Mojo. Set the I formation. 3 wide receivers. Henne straight back. Looks right, fires incomplete. Too low for Cecil Shorts. Let's once again check in with JB and Shannon in New York for an update on the Giants and the Eagles.
Giants were down by 12, but
JB, did I tell you I started Eli Manning on my fantasy team?
that you did.
And here he rolls out, finds Reuben Randall. They take the lead 21-19 over the Eagles. Giants looking for their first win.
Who did you start again?
Eli Manning.
Back to Bill and Steve.
Well, congratulations, Shannon. That's awesome for you.
Justin for a second in the backfield. Chad Henne at the controls. Blaine Gabbert done for the day. The out pattern to Shorts. That's caught. And out of bounds near midfield.
Is everybody, is everybody on it? I thought it was just me. I know that everybody had 6 fantasy teams. And
I think it's just you.
I think it might be just me. Obviously, Shannon's not so much into the fantasy world.
Nice pickup on the throw to Cecil Shorts. There's been a bright spot for Jacksonville since the play of number 84. Building on his breakout season a year ago. They win the draw to Maurice Jones-Drew, who has some running room. Pounds his way down inside the 45, close to a first down.
Now, a little bit of this is the Rams taking their foot off the gas defensively, but also a little bit of it has to do with Chad Henne and the fact that they've picked up the tempo of this offense, and they're starting to look a little bit better. And you can bet that they're starting to feel a little bit better about this game. Now, with 13 minutes to go in this game, down by 14, you're not out of this. I mean, this is something the Jacksonville Jaguars are still working hard to win.
Codman checks in, trying to get to the edge. Lowers his shoulder and out of bounds at the 35. Ogletree made the stop.
Yeah, they're going to keep this clock running here and say that he was down inbounds, but it is a nice gain of 6 yards as they continue to run guys on and off the field. Jacksonville, even offensive linemen are getting into the act, getting spelled in this up-tempo offense.
6 yards on the gain. Again, they run it. Coleman bounces off one man and then wrapped up for no gain. Laurinaitis made the stop. Laurinaitis is fun to watch. He really plays angry when he has to. A team captain for the Rams.
We were talking to Laurinaitis yesterday as there's a Ram player now being helped off.
That's Rodney McLeod, the free safety.
We spoke to Laurinaitis, and he had the, I guess, after good fortune of playing at Ohio State in the Big Ten, and I was a Northwestern guy who, those guys had a game last night. I don't really remember how it turned out last night, but Laurinaitis was glued to the television.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Never be without football with NFL Mobile from Verizon. FedEx. Request when and where your packages are delivered with FedEx Delivery Manager. And by Acura. Meet the extremely new 2014 MDX at Acura.com/MDX.
Rodney McLeod slow getting up. Finally left the field under his own power, but struggling a little bit on the sideline. 3rd and 3 for Jacksonville. 12 minutes left to play. 2-touchdown game, and the Rams take a timeout. Short timeout. 27-13, St. Louis, and Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS delivers another top 25 showdown when the 18th ranked Florida Gators head into Death Valley to face number 10 LSU. It all begins with college football today. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports.
It's interesting to think about how this game may come down if Jacksonville continues on this drive and could get a touchdown out of it. It's 20-27. And they left 3 points on the scoreboard, and it really makes you wonder, they're going to have some positive things to take from this game if they can continue this drive and convert this third.
Maurice Jones-Drew gets to the edge and a first down. Mojo showing a little bit of burst there. Pushed out of bounds by Stewart.
Hey, go ahead. And that was a huge third down conversion as Jacksonville kind of lost their momentum. They were going up-tempo, and you see there, Ogletree can't corral him. And one of the things we've always seen about Maurice Jones-Drew, he is hard to get a hold of. He's so short, but he's so thick and strong. Players really have trouble tackling him high and getting him to the ground.
15 carries, 68 yards for Mojo. Pretty balanced drive. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. They trail by 14. Maurice Jones-Drew. More running room once again. And out of bounds. And once again, let's check in with the fellas in New York. JB and Shannon.
Another RB who found some running room.
After only 5 rush attempts last week, he has 20 on today, plus 2 TDs, 23-13, Baltimore in front of the Dolphins.
Hey, Bill McAtee, I couldn't help but smile at Steve Tasker as he was sarcastically complimenting Shannon. One of the most tenacious guys ever, Steve Tasker.
JB, Shannon, thank you. Miami trying to start 4-1 for the first time since 2003. Todman up the middle, and he's down inside the 5. Jacksonville threatening to make this a close ball game.
Another Rams player left on the ground as Todman puts his foot in the ground, cuts back against the grain, and the Rams just over-pursued on that run to the outside and opened it up.
And that's Matt Giordano grabbing his right leg just above the knee.
You see how they pull his toe up and push his knee down. That's the classic symptom of they're helping him with a cramp in the back of his leg. And if this was a game in Jacksonville, the fans would be mad and thinking Matt Giordano did this to slow up the tempo of this offense. He really didn't look like he got hit from that, and he starts to get up. And as he starts to get up, it starts to tie up on him. I don't know. You see, trying to stretch it out.
Rams came in today without their talented rookie safety, T.J. McDonald. He fractured his right leg last week against the 49ers, was placed on injured reserve, designated to return. That means he'll be out for at least the next 6 weeks.
And the reason I don't think Giordano is doing anything just to slow the tempo down is because it's first down. You don't do that on first down. You do it on third down when they've got a couple of plays in a row. I think Giordano genuinely has a leg issue there. First and goal on the 5 or just inside the 5 for Jacksonville. It's been a great drive.
Last 3 plays have been runs of 9, 8, and 14 yards for Jacksonville. The Rams have given up some huge gains on the ground over the last 2 weeks. DeMarco Murray got him for 175 last week. Frank Gore had 153 for the 49ers. A lot of those came on big plays. They run the power I formation. Maurice Jones-Drew is the deep back. First and goal for Jacksonville. Short drop for Henne. Throwing the fade, but a miscommunication with Blackmon.
And that's Blackmon. He's looking at the sideline saying that's what I was going to. He doesn't know why the ball went outside. That was a miscommunication. And that's one of the things that has happened consistently to Jacksonville today. And Blackmon kind of, I don't know what he was doing. If he'd have come back inside, there were 2 defenders there. He would have been triple covered. And for a guy who's been out of the game for 4 weeks with his suspension, you got to kind of think he's the one that wasn't on the right page.
But he's been a factor today. 4 catches for 129 yards for Blackmon. Henne changing the play on second and goal. Stands in. Fires a strike to Schwartz, and he brings it in. Touchdown Jacksonville.
That was a great catch by Schwartz. It was well defended by Tremaine Johnson, and Schwartz just battled him for the football. What a great throw and catch. Henne with the gun, and Schwartz with the tough 50-50 ball over the middle. That was a tremendous catch. At the top of your screen, it's going to come all the way across. And you see Tremaine Johnson almost gets it away, and he pulls it in one-handed. Tremendous catch by Cecil Schwartz.
And the Jaguars, with just under 10.5 minutes remaining, making this interesting. Scobie with the extra point, and it's a 7-point ball game, 27-20. Henne to Shorts, touchdown Jacksonville. First touchdown reception of the season for the man from Mount Union, capping an impressive drive for Jacksonville. Scobie kicks it away. Cunningham is the deep man, and he will take a knee. He'll bring it out to the 20. Well, Chad Henne has given the Jacksonville Jaguars, Steve, a bit of a spark.
Absolutely. Started with the long completion down the sideline to Blackmon. He came out throwing the ball deep a couple of times. Then they came back in the run game, began to pick up and converting first downs. A couple of good pass completions, and it ended up in an 80-yard drive. 12
plays on that drive, and it featured 4 plays of 10 yards or more. And we'll try to take some time off the clock. Stacy's in the backfield. Cook is the motion man. They give it to Stacy. Left side, nice through. And a first down for the Rams.
Jacksonville had 9 guys in the box, and then they moved Cook out, the tight end out, and they ended up with 8 guys in the box. They've got to stop this run. You know the Rams are going to try and grind out the clock. Jacksonville has got to come up bigger in the run game here in the last quarter of this game to give themselves a chance to get back in it. That's an enormous conversion on first down for the Rams against an 8-man front.
Stacy in his first start already with 70 yards and 13 carries. Quick pass out to Gibbons. Steps out of bounds after a gain of 1 or 2.
And now the Rams come back with that formation. They spread the field and forced Jacksonville to spread their defenders out and get them out of the box. But then the Rams decided to throw the football, and you know that this is a time when you almost, if you're the Rams, you cannot afford to go into your 4-minute offense. There's 9.5 minutes. You've got to keep your sails up and keep your engine revved, because if you start to let up, you're 1 play away from getting this game tied up.
2nd and 9. Stacy up the middle, tough yards out across the 40, close to the 41. Both these teams are young. The Rams have the youngest roster in the NFL, averaging just under 25 years of age. More than half of their roster, 28 players in their first or second year in the league. Jeff Fisher and the Rams sort of reaping the benefits of that trade, Steve, that landed RG3 in Washington. St. Louis has used giving up that number 2 pick overall last year to really fuel their drafts and brought in a lot of players. Guys who they can build on. That's caught. Harkey. And he's into Jacksonville territory, out of bounds at the 42, a gain of 17.
And this is what you got to do. 9 guys in the box for Jacksonville. You go play action, and of course Harkey pops out. Cyprian 1 step too slow, and that gives Harkey all kinds of room. The big play action on a time when the Jacksonville Jaguars had 9 guys in the box. They caught him biting heavy on the run fake, and Harkey popped out the side of the formation for the completion.
Harkey considered more of a blocking tight end. Cook and Kendricks are the receiving guys. 8 minutes remaining. Bradford to the sideline. Pettis stays in bounds and extends toward the sticks. Pickup of 9.
Now this is a really nice drive by the Rams at a time when it looked like Jacksonville had some life, and their defense gave up an 80-yard drive for the touchdown. Their offense, perhaps for the first time this season, is really carrying this football team on its back, converting, grinding out the clock, and still being productive, getting first downs and giving themselves a chance now inside field goal range to come away with points.
Richardson is the deep back. It's the motion man. Excuse me, that's Cook. Richardson runs into the pile and pushed back.
Yeah, Richardson didn't really look around at what was going on. He just kind of pushed into the pile. Looked like he had a chance to keep his
head up and maybe find a little bit of room, a crease in there. He just couldn't do it. Kind of stuck his head into the back of the offensive lineman, and there was just no place to run.
And that'll bring up 3rd and short. Continues to run. Inside of 7 minutes remaining. 27-20 St. Louis. Richardson. Falls forward and he's got the first down. Cyprian made the stop. But a fresh set of downs and more time off the clock for the Rams.
Just one more demoralizing moment there for Jacksonville as they give up the short conversion on 3rd down. Had a chance to get the Rams off the field. They wanted a long field goal attempt, and now it turns into a 1st and 10, new set of downs, and their defense has to start from scratch once again.
8 of 17 on 3rd down for the Rams. They came in over their last 2 games, only 4 of 30 in 3rd down conversions. Bradford off the play action, going up top for Pettis. He's got a touchdown.
Well, he's 6 feet 3 inches tall, and Bradford throws it up. Blackmon, who has played extremely well today, almost gets it. It's just not enough. That ball fit in there just perfectly for Pettis. The hand fighting down the sidelines gives just enough separation for him to make the completion. Blackmon maybe an inch or 2 away from tipping that pass away for the incompletion.
31 yards on the touchdown pass from Bradford to Pettis. Bradford with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And again, it's a 14-point lead for the hometown Rams.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Try the Tuscan Chicken Melt $6 footlong special today. And by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Back in St. Louis, Pettis with the touchdown grab. 8 plays, 80 yards. Took about 4.5 minutes off the clock. 34-20, St. Louis. 5:45 left to play. Zierlein with the kick. Cochran lets it go out of the end zone. They'll take it out to the 20. And Steve, another look at the touchdown pass.
One of the things Bradford does, watch as Bradford drops back, he's going to keep his eyes on this side of the football field. And what that does, it holds the safety in the middle of the field. He can't get over to help the corner who's one-on-one down at the bottom of your screen. Watch that safety in between the hashes. He has to stay there because Bradford's looking that way. And then at the last moment, Bradford looks over, finds Pettis on one-on-one with the entire field to work, and it's the completion.
Third touchdown pass of the day for Sam Bradford. Henny. Come back with a Blackmon. And he steps out of bounds.
You know, I mentioned Bradford's eyes. Watch as he drops back. He little play fake here, and then he looks back to the center of the field, over to his left, then comes back late to his right, catches where Pettis is, and lets it go. Quick release. That's a quarterback that's hitting on all cylinders. Looking the safety off is one of the most difficult things for a young quarterback to do, but Bradford did it to perfection.
Maurice Jones-Drew wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Robert Quinn was back there in a hurry. And Quinn has quickly become a star in this league in his 3rd year out of North Carolina, their 1st-round pick in 2011.
Yeah, we spoke to him on Friday, and just, he talked about Mojo and how they were going to try and defend him and how difficult it is to tackle him, and did a great job there.
3rd and 9, Henny underneath to Mojo. Rams swarming. Ogletree stood him up.
You can see Ogletree comes in trying to tackle Maurice Jones-Drew high. For a minute, he went for a ride. I mean, it just takes that much. And now, of course, Jacksonville on 4th down, they've got to go for it. It's the right call. by Gus Bradley.
Trailing by 2 touchdowns. Inside of 4.5 minutes remaining. 4th and 2. Henning up the sideline. Intended for Cecil Shorts. Turned around looking for a flag, but won't get one, and it will go over on downs.
And this was going to be a tough ball to catch anyway. Henny put it a little bit too far out of bounds. Good release. He's working against Janoris Jenkins, and he gets clean some separation. A little bit of hand fighting down there, but that ball was so far out of bounds, it wasn't going to be completed anyway.
Shorts had a piece of Janoris Jenkins' face mask as they went down the sideline. So it goes over on downs, and the Rams take over at the Jacksonville 27-yard line.
And at this point, this is when the Rams are going to go heavy, run the football, and grind out the clock and force Jacksonville to use their final 2 timeouts.
Richardson up the middle. Starts his way down to the 21. Josh Evans made the stop.
We talk a lot about red zone offense and 3rd down conversions. Well, teams use different packages, and this is called the 4-minute offense because it's 4 minutes to go in the game. You have a lead if you're the Rams, and you're trying to grind out the clock. Receivers, running backs will run with 2 hands on the ball. They'll stay in bounds even if they can get out of bounds easily, and they'll run the football predominantly or with short passes to make sure the clock keeps running.
Benny Cunningham is checked in. 2nd and 4. Darts through. And that's going to be a first down. Some tough running from Benny Cunningham. Well, coming up next, Peyton Manning and the unbeaten Broncos head to Dallas, and they'll face Tony Romo and the Cowboys. That's coming up next. The NFL on CBS. Immediately at the conclusion of this one.
As the Rams stay in the huddle, they'll let that play clock you see there clucking down to 10, 11, 10. They'll get it all the way down to 2 or 3 before they snap the football.
Well said I. Cunningham is the deep back. They give it to him on 1st down. Fights his way forward down to about the 13.
And you see there, even there, the Rams are slow to get off the pile. They're milling around. It takes a long time for the... And this is the thing now that Jeff Fisher, he'll take the field goal if it gets to the 4th down.
He's trying to get back into the win column after 3 straight losses. They called this a must-win today because the Jaguars have been such a mess. Jacksonville came in having lost 9 in a row going back to last season, 2-18 over the last 2 years. Haven't won a game on the road since last September, and that will continue as we have reached the 2-minute warning. Two minutes remaining. Rams comfortably ahead, 34-20. And the Jacksonville 14, Cunningham moves the pile down to the 8. Tyson Alualu was in on the tackle. A lot of similarities to what Gus Bradley's trying to do in Jacksonville and what Pete Carroll did in Seattle. Develop your core through the draft and then bring in a lot of guys who you hope can stick to fill out your roster. But there's some records you want, and then there's that.
And that his mantra has been just improve every day, every practice, every game. Jacksonville, and while they look at film and they can study it pretty specifically and say, yeah, we're getting better in a lot of areas. In fact, they did score some points today, 20. Well, they decided not to score 23, and there's 20 on the scoreboard. They have played better offensively.
Jacksonville's made 190 transactions so far this year. They made 260 in that first year with Pete in Seattle. And with the Monroe trade last week, they picked up 10 draft picks next April, so that will help. On 3rd down, Cunningham wrapped up by Russell Allen.
Yeah, one of the things Gus Bradley acknowledged to us, when they do make so many transactions, it's a problem with continuity because you've got a certain percentage of guys in your locker room that are there week to week. And when you get upgraded, you get a new guy in there, so it's tough to get a culture rolling in your locker room where there's so many new faces.
On the other side of this thing is that Jacksonville has a very difficult schedule going forward. Denver, San Diego, San Francisco, then they have a bye, Tennessee and Arizona. So it's not going to get any easier going forward.
They have but one team on their schedule remaining in the rest of the year with a losing record, and that's Buffalo late in the year.
Another chip shot for Zerline. On 4th and 3, that's from 26 yards out, and a whistle flags before the snap.
And if that's against the defense, that will result in a first down.
Tony Carinci will chair that meeting once again of the officials.
Encroachment, defense, number 98. This penalty would be assessed half the distance to the goal, or be first down.
And those are the kind of catastrophic mistakes Jacksonville has made today. Turnovers, and in this case, a penalty that has really allowed St. Louis to run the clock out if they so desire.
Jacksonville out of timeouts. We talked about the philosophy for the Jaguars. They have so many new faces on the roster. We talked about the Rams with a lot of young players. Jacksonville claimed 7 players off waivers after the final cuts in preseason, and right now they have 10 players on the roster who weren't with them at training camp. Victory formation. Alfred will take a knee, and they'll just run this thing out. Jacksonville back to the drawing board, and Jeff Fisher will avoid the first 4-game losing streak of his tenure here in St. Louis.
Well, for Jeff Fisher, he acknowledged too that since he got the job, there's only 15 guys left on the roster that were here before he took the job. So they have rinsed this roster as well, and continue to do that as they've got a number of rookie free agents that made their squad this year.
Clock continues to run. Jacksonville can't stop it.
Jacksonville still looking for answers. They'd scored more points than they have this season, but still not enough. It will be interesting to see how Gus Bradley's treated after taking that field goal off the board earlier in the game, although it didn't make a difference as the final score stands. I know that's something you never see, but I think he's trying to spark his team, and I understand it.
So Jacksonville falls to 0-5, and the Rams move to 2-3 with a 34-20 win here in St. Louis. Disappointing homecoming for Blaine Gabbert here in St. Louis. 3 touchdown passes for Sam Bradford. So coming up, we have bonus coverage of the Ravens and the Dolphins as our coverage of the NFL on CBS continues. For Steve Tasker, Bill McAtee saying so long from St. Louis. 34-20, the Rams. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.